Hello, a very good evening to you. This is Cafe Clairvoyance, and this is your host, Phil Griggs. And welcome to another Tuesday show. And what can I say? We have a very, very special guest coming on this evening. More about that in just a moment. But yes, how are you guys? Are you well out there? Have you had a lovely day? Yes, good. And this is a show that takes you away from the torture, the absolute torture, the pain of having to put up those evening soaps, you know, like Emmerdale, all those. You can watch this and just relax, sit back, just enjoy, and notice it's all peace, calm, happiness, and funniness. Anyway, let's start with a little intro. So, very good evening to you guys. I hope you're well out there, having a lovely time. Good evening to Helen Grady. Good evening, young lady. How are you? I hope you're well. Also for Deborah, the producer, she's saying hola from Spain. And all you other guys start to come on. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And yes, let's give you guys a little bit of a hoot. Should we give you a hoot? I think you need an evening hoot. Is that good? Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. And yeah, lovely to see you guys. Anyway, so tonight, guys, very special night. I have a fabulous guest who's going to be joining me very shortly. Wonderful author, Stephanie J. King. Now, some of you may have heard of her. For those of you who haven't, I think you'll be inspired this evening. Plus the fact Stephanie was making very clear to me yesterday. She said here, yes, talk about me a little bit, but then let's get involved with the viewers. And I thought that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I know Stephanie's listening in the background going, yeah, that was me. I suggested that. Yeah. Anyway, so this is her book here. It says, and so it begins. Yeah, it's a little bit backwards because you won't. Anyway, technology and all that. But it says, and so it begins. You have more power over life than you realise. And how many times have we heard this? Have we heard this quite a lot? I think we have a little bit, haven't we? Anyway, so yes, we have more power than we realise. And sometimes when we achieve something, we look back thinking, I never thought I'd do that. Well, there we go. Okay, so who else have got on this evening? I just love you guys coming in. We got Karen Hastings. She says, good evening from Bedfordshire. Hope all well. Yes, not bad at all. Angelina Foot. That's very nice to hear. Anything for me, please? Well, it's actually an interactive show there, Angelina. So it's a show which you can probably ask questions and get involved in the content of the show, which will be coming up very shortly. And how many other guys here? Oh, just so many of you coming on. It's lovely to see you all. Anyway, so this is what's happening tonight. Just to remind you, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, is the astrology show with my good friend Guillemar. We'll be doing psychology, astrology, numerology, and tarot, all in one. And we're talking about the current climate. So that should be a fabulous show. But in the meantime, far up there is a long way up there. Far up there in the maybe not so icy dwellings of England, maybe a little bit warmer today, but I'd just like to go and see if my special guest is ready. She's a lovely lady. Really looking forward to this. Anyway, I'm just going to see if she's there. Hello, Stephanie. Are you there?
I am here. Are you there?
Oh, there you are. Lovely evening. Lovely to see you. And welcome to Cafe Clairvoyance. Lovely to see you. And, well, I love your floristry behind you. It looks beautiful. Yes. So it's like beautiful floristry, a beautiful lady. So it's lovely to welcome you on the show. Good. Okay, Stephanie. So I've heard about you for years. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Stephanie J. King, yes, author. And people have said, yes, very much about positivity and areas like this, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And so tell us here, Stephanie, so first of all, whereabouts are you? Whereabouts do you mainly work? Is there a particular area?
Well, if you mean location,
yes.
I travel up and down the UK when we're not in COVID land. But saying that, I believe I'm just about to do a lot more television and things abroad. So who knows? I'm spreading my wings all over the shop.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Productive stuff. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because we think here that where we used to do the shows up and down the countryside in front of large audiences, now it's changed. It works on television, social media, Stephanie, and now we reach larger audiences than what we did before by purely coming online like this, which I think is fabulous what we all do. Yes, good. So tell us a little bit about your background. Was this something that you grew up with, actually noticing in yourself? Did you think, hey, yes, I'm as psychic from day dot, or was there anything else here?
No. When I was a little girl, when I was a very little girl, I remember I used to want to go to Sunday school because I used to love the stories. And then my mum said I couldn't go anymore because it was across the other end of the village and she wouldn't let me go. And then I remember a big tent coming into the village and they were singing all sorts of songs, like gospel-y, religious songs. And I loved it. And I was so small and I used to go up the front and I knew all the words off by heart and I used to sing my heart out. So I've always had something going on there, but a sad thing occurred. I only remembered it either earlier this year or late last year. I remembered that I was Christian Catholic, but I remembered vividly one time saying to God, I'm not going to pray to you anymore because every time I do it goes wrong. And then I completely forgot about it and lived my life. And I only remembered that, as I said, earlier this year or maybe late last year. And I was shocked at that memory, but it made absolute sense of the twisty-turny nature my life took over the years. So I have always had something going on inside me. I've always believed there's more. And then before I started my journey, I've been on my journey now. I had my awakening about 25 years ago, maybe a bit more now. Time goes so fast.
It does.
Maybe getting on for 30 years ago.
It does.
I had my first awakening. I didn't wake up one morning and think, oh, this is the day I'm going to awaken. It just happened. In fact, it was late at night. My husband, who's died now, he was in bed asleep. And I'd already started to have thoughts and feelings and questions that I didn't know where they came from, but they were just inside me. And then I started to write things down because I learned that if I tried to remember it, no matter how much I tried to remember it, when I went to bed in the morning, it would be gone. Even if I went off to do a chore.
Same with me.
I thought, I'll remember that. And I drilled it in there. And the smallest of chores, it was gone. So I learned to write things down. So this one particular night, I don't know if I woke up or if I couldn't go to sleep, but I crept out of bed, crept downstairs, laid on the hallway floor with a piece of paper and a pen, just to scribble down what I thought was a note. And I didn't know anything about automatic writing then. But as I was writing, my writing was big. But when I thought about it, it became small and my arm hurt. So something was saying inside me, relax, relax, just let go. So I did. And the message that came through was, this is the Garden of Eden, this is it. And then it was signed. And I remember during the time I was writing that, I could hear like a banging on the window. You know, like anybody who's older remembers a TV aerial bashing on the window in the wind.
Yes.
I could hear that sound and I was thinking, oh, it's so windy outside. And the cat came and laid next to me. Anyway, so when I'd written what I'd written, there was this huge orb just suspended in front of me, huge golden orb, huge. And whether I had my eyes closed or open, it was there. So that was my first awakening. So, of course, that sort of, and this unconditional love, this feeling of unconditional love washed over me that I'd never had before. So, of course, that was me done. So I went to bed, couldn't wait for my husband to wake up. Early in the morning, he woke up, went to the bathroom. I woke him up too much and told him what had happened. And he thought I was poorly. All my relations thought I was poorly. They thought they were losing me.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, next day I went outside to look at this rogue cable and there wasn't one. Nothing there. Nothing against the window.
And that was something there knocking on the window, grabbing your attention
Yeah,
spiritually to show
yeah,
that they are there, they're
yeah. To
coming
keep
through
me
for you.
grounded and want
Yeah,
to notice what I was doing. Yep, yep,
brilliant.
yeah.
So
So that was my awakening.
that was your awakening. And since your awakening, what do you call yourself by profession?
Well, I've actually got a trademark. I'm a soulpreneur. But what
Okay,
I do is I help people be more than they know that they are. I plug people back into the mainframe of life. I
okay,
help them understand that wherever they are, whatever they've been through, is only a stepping stone. They were supposed to go through it, not to get stuck in it, but to come out the other side. But
okay.
then to gather their gifts contained from within that to be able to take them forward. Because in this lifetime, a huge percentage of us have come to awaken. Because every time life ends, we go back home to spirit. But then the book is closed, we can't add any more. And the thing is, if we awaken while we're here, we can clear the path, make better the stuff that we need to, do some clearing, bring in some good things. And then when we get back home to heaven, whatever you call it, we can be glad for the fact that we've awoken. And we can stand there, even, if there is a higher God mind, a person, there isn't a person, but even should there be a person, rather than flaking in our shoes, shaking in our boots, we can say, do you know what, God? Yeah, I lived my life, but I didn't know. But when I did know, then I did better. And this is what I've done now. And I can stand there and hold my head up high, even if I've made mistakes, because any mistakes I've made, I didn't know.
Mm.
And now I do.
No, you do. Well, that's quite a big statement there, really, because it's an interesting concept to think here that we come into this life and people say here, well, karma, there's destiny, all the things you're going to go through, they're all going to happen for you, and this is how it's going to be. But what you're saying here is that you can actually stop at a particular point in life, wipe the slate clean, and maybe alter your karma to something that's even better than what was maybe started off. Is that right?
Yeah, because people, I think, have a misconception about karma. All babies are born blank open channels. They have to
Okay.
be, otherwise they wouldn't be innocent.
Okay.
But before a baby is born, it's already decided with the masters upstairs, the place of birth, the time of birth, the how of birth, the when of birth. So already the stars, the planet, your geographical location, your parents you've chosen, a lot of things already been chosen for you before you've come.
Yeah.
And that's not to punish you, that's to give you the best opportunity in this lifetime to get to the point where you reach the goal points and then you can start to recreate. So you're giving yourself the best opportunity possible to be able to touch the touch point and move forward. Like I said, it used to be, even in my lifetime and your lifetime, that you lived a whole life. You
Hmm.
worked all your life, you built up your family, you had a career, then you popped your clogs and you were gone. So if we've been doing that repeatedly for hundreds of lifetimes, even if we've only done it through one or two, just supposing this was the only life we had, look at the mistakes we've made with our best effort, with our free will and our best intentions. Look at what we've created and the stuff that we've got stuffed in our closets, hoping that nobody will ever see. We can't even look at ourselves in the mirror because there's part of ourselves that we don't like. But the thing is, the universe isn't like that. It's giving everybody a chance. So in this lifetime, because we've gone beyond the end of times, because we're in a place of rebirth and new beginnings, we
Hmm.
are actually in a place of rebirth and new beginnings. And you can't fix what you don't know is broken. But in order to know something is broken, you will have had to have witnessed it, seen it, been there, done it.
Uh-huh.
When we're standing in front of our friends and our relations, poking the finger, say, you do this and you do that. How often do we actually stand in their shoes and pretend we are them, see their life through our eyes, what they're feeling, to remember, actually, we've also felt like that. We've also done these things. And it's not about pointing the finger. It's more about standing in their shoes and saying, do you know what? As a soul, I see you, I know you, I understand you, I get you. I know where you're stuck, but I love you anyway, and I'm going to help you move forward. And it's about giving somebody their sense of pride, letting them keep whole, but be able to move forward. Because even the people in our families, even our brothers and sisters and our parents, they're all souls in their individual right. Each one is born, each one is trying to live life in the best way they can, but each one is in a different place and stage of development. And we come together not only to live and share this time, but to learn from each other, because not all of your bad things or the things that you know have you done yourself. You've learned through other people and things you've seen, as they're also learning from you. So we're in this bag together, and it's about stepping back and seeing souls for who they really are, not judging, not pulling them apart, but seeing them and understanding, as you work with the universe, what's needed in that moment.
I think an interesting thing here, I think it's a lovely, lovely way. And just to read out some comments here, people have said, right, Susanna says, so true, that's what happens. Cheryl says, rather, sounds good advice. And Sandra Park says, sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. And Susanna says, definitely, I'm not kidding it. And Cheryl says, very interesting. And we've also got Sandra who says, that's your unique agreement. Okay, so it's interesting here. So we're born in this life, just to go back a little bit over what Stephanie is saying. We're born into this life here. We have our own individual characters. We're born into families, but sometimes we just accept them for what they are. Yes, we see them and just get on with life there. But sometimes we're not really looking at the real sort of, if you say, soul connection. So maybe standing back and just observing what their pathway is and how we're learning off each other. Yes, go for it, Stephanie.
It's not that we don't see it. It's more that we believe the life we're living as our total lot, as our story. And we make the best of what we've got based on what occurs. And we really, really believe deep inside us that that's our story. And we've got to tread water and do all we can till the end. Nobody taught us, actually, it's a stepping stone. You know, everything you've created, no matter how high or lowly we are, is just a stepping stone to more.
Yes.
You know, we've gone through wars, so we're still accumulating. We're going through hard times again. Well, what's that going to do afterwards? Well, for a lot of people, it's going to bring them back to a place of accumulation again. So it's almost like another war, but in a different way. You know, it's going to bring them back to the exact same place of where they're having to rebuild their broken lives because of things that have happened around them. But the thing is, from a spiritual perspective, if you understand that whatever happens in life just happens, it's not personal, it happens, and we have to get over it the best we can. But then once you've got your cornerstone in place, your house, your food, your work, you know, then what is your life about? What does it say about you? Who are you?
Okay. Cheryl asks, she says, what's the best way to see the future stepping stones? How would you...
Okay, so you don't look for the future stepping stones. That's not what it's about. It's very much about staying in the now, working in the now with every day that comes up, because every day will present you with exactly what you need to address in that time. And when you stay in the now, the answers are with you in that moment. Even if you're crazily scared, even if the steps in front of you are so big you don't know what to do, just bring yourself back to balance. You have to remember life is a mirror, and what you think and what you are is what you reflect out. So that's what comes back. It's like when you stand in front of a mirror and you think, oh, I look a mess today. Well, the mirror's not saying to you, you look a mess. You are saying to yourself, you look a mess. So you feel like a mess for the rest of the day. So this is the same when you're working the now. No matter what steps are in front of you, Just close your eyes and talk to God, not an hallelujah, praise the Lord, so just you and your connection to life, whether you call it God, whether you call it the universe, whether you call it source. You wouldn't have a life without that connection, that part of you which is connected to that. Close your eyes, just stand still and say, listen, God, help me out here. You know what I'm facing, you know what's going on. Please take it away from me as much as I don't need. Reduce everything else down to a size I can deal with, and please give me what I need right now in this moment in front of me so that I can make the connections I need. Then open your eyes and carry on with your day. If you don't know what to do nothing until you do know, because sometimes fears come in to warn you against other things. Sometimes it's your mind playing tricks on you, remembering times gone past and how it ended. So it's saying, oh, last time it didn't end well, last time it didn't end well. So then you just say, okay, God, can you take away what I don't need? Again, show me my pathway. What's in front of you, you've never had before. You don't know how it's going to play out because it hasn't occurred. The elements around you, all the things are in place, are in a different order. You're in a different place because you've learnt different things. In this moment, you never know what's going to come up, or what will have shifted, or what will change, or what connections are happening out of you. You can't look into the future. You can put an affirmation, you can talk to God, say, look, I need this, because God has to be your best friend. This is nothing to do with hallelujah, nothing to do with that. This is you working your life with your own life link as you link in with the universe. So talk to God, say, look, this is my ideal scenario. So I pass it to you. Help me get there, or as close as possible, that I or we are able to achieve, and let it go. And then your job is to focus on your business, focus on anything. Even if you're at the kitchen sink peeling potatoes, really look at those potatoes, make those potato peels as long as you can make them. Do anything that you need to do so you're not thinking of the issues around you. If your mind runs away, bring it back, focus on what you're doing again.
That's an interesting thing, a very interesting point there, Stephanie, because I think that maybe a lot of us don't ask out there for support or help, whether you say, as you say here, it's the universe, it's God as your spirit guide, as whatever this is here. And I think an interesting point is as well, maybe spirituality is changing in its realm here from people who think that how's the future going to be? What's the future going to store? For instance, when we used to go through the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s even, and we used the tarot cards to predict the future. And as much as it could be accurate, what you're saying here is almost like you're harnessing your own power rather than giving it away to something that's in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the thing is, you can have an overview. I do readings myself. What I do is I help people see what's coming up in the next year or 6 months, not specific things unless they ask specific questions, but I say, look, this is what's coming up. It's going to go like this, or it's going to go like this. This is what to watch out for. This is where you're stuck. This is what's going to happen. And it gives them an overview, like a framework in which to work. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. When you do this, how do you do this? Is this something used direct? Is it something that you had used through a numerology
there's lots of ways. If you're working with me, I do readings. I can do them through Skype. I can do them through telephone. I used my own cards, which you'll see on my website. I use those as prompts, but I channel information. You can see that even though I'm talking to you, I'm still channeling right now, because I live with one foot here, 1 foot there. So I'm 24/7 working with upstairs. So I pass in what's needed at the moment that it's needed. And that's why the talking can just go and go and go, because it's just coming through me. But I do want to say 2 more things. You asked about how to connect. So my books are instant guidance. All of the material on my site is instant guidance for the reader. A whole family can share the same book, but they have to connect to their angel. shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Wherever you land, that's what you need in the moment, because the universe always knows what you're thinking. The universe knows what you need. It knows your questions before you've even asked a question, because if you're thinking of a question, first it has to formulate, but it formulates out here somewhere and filters in. So, but I also want to say, when you said it was interesting how I talk to God, you have to plug into the top of the tree, whether you call it God, source, the universe, the Christ consciousness, whatever you call it. It's the same label for the different labels for the same thing.
Yep. I
You
agree.
can plug into the angels, that's great. You can plug into your own angel, your own guardian, that's great. But you have to remember that your angels are souls, either like you or different, maybe really high, maybe they've been there here, maybe they haven't. But they're still souls in their own right, serving for the greater good.
Yeah.
Helping, looking after, serving us.
Yes.
They answer to the higher power.
Yes.
We all have the ability, no matter who we are, to connect to that higher power. But the trick is to be able to trust it, because we've
Yes.
become so untrusting,
Yes.
because life again and again and again has proven to us that we can't trust, that it's taken God, and let's use the word God, it's taken God a very long time to get us all back to this point again, where maybe we are in a position that we're able to touch that stone, and God is finally able to communicate to us again in a way, on a one-to-one level in which we need. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with praying to the angels. I talk to the angels, but it's still an intermediary stage. Spirit is still an intermediary stage. God is the whole thing. When you plug into the whole thing, then you have all the levels of help available to you. So you can talk to your angels, you can talk to your guides, but ultimately your best friend has to be the I am. The
I think
last
this
thing you
is
think
very
of, the first
interesting.
thing you think of.
Very interesting, Stephanie. It's an absolute pleasure
You and
having
I
you on the show.
couldn't speak if we worship the plug, if we worship this device, if we worship the cable. We have to go to the grid, but even then it's not the grid, it's the elements. So what I'm trying to say is, without any part of that, we wouldn't be able to make the connection. So you have to plug into the top of the tree, and that's what your soul is looking for. That's why so many of us feel like something is missing. We've got the home, we've got the family, we've got the person we love, we've got the career, we've got more gadgets and gizmos and riches and clothes and food than we could ever know what to do with it unless we haven't. But there's still something missing. And so we always look for more because we think it's not right, or society tells us it's not right. You can have whatever you like, as much as you like or as little as you like. That's our prerogative. But the soul is looking to plug in, because it has to download the information you've gained and upload more information you need.
Absolutely fascinating. Now, this is interesting because definitely on the astrology show, we've been talking since probably we started. One of the things we're actually asking people to do, especially, I think COVID really triggered it. I think there's a positive from COVID, if I could say that. And that one thing is that people had to look for something different, because what they were used to was quickly disappearing in the way you lead their lives. And now we started, and it's very much about looking in yourself to find yourself. And I think that's a powerful point. And I think the other powerful point you're making here is to have that connection with whatever you call that I am, whatever you call that, whatever it is to have that connection
Divine,
there.
whatever you
Yes,
call it.
divine. I think it's brilliant. And Susanna says,
Can I just say, looking within is very different. Looking in the mirror, seeing how you live your life, seeing how you interact with people, because we are animals of two halves. We're a physical shell that we live in, the car that we feed and know, but then there's our soul, our spirit self, that actually houses the physical self. So you can live your whole life, and you can create your life to the best of your ability, the whole of your life. And then you can go back home to spirit, not having touched anything, because you never touched your own spirituality. And even in spirituality, there's many levels, there's many houses, many schools. There's lots of people that go to church every Sunday,
Yeah.
and they will quote all the words of the Bible to you. And before anybody says anything, I work with Jesus, I work with God, I work with Mary, I work with Padre Pio, I work with higher beings, I work with the angels, I work with everyone, because we're all part of the same package.
All part of the
God
great
didn't
divine.
segregate. But what I'm trying to say is the church wanted to keep us within the lines that were set,
Yes.
because even the highest pope can't say that there's more, because they didn't teach it, just in case they are wrong and they get smite. So they can't. So they have to keep us within the perimeters. But God didn't say it has to be like it's written in the books. Too many people hang on every word, but the meanings of the words are actually the meanings behind the words, the meanings of the fables, of the stories. That's where the truths are. Not you shouldn't do this and this and this, you shouldn't do this and this and this, because that's the reason you shouldn't do this and this and this. So it's a bigger reason.
Very interesting. I think actually it's very true. Very, very true. I think I totally agree. I'm not being biased. I just think, very openly listening to you, Stephanie. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And it's a very enjoyable experience interviewed you this evening. Susanna says, I think understanding soul contracts could help people understand, prevent a lot of mental health issues. Okay, that's an opinion that could well happen there. Deb Harris says...
Okay, let me just answer Susanna.
Yep.
So the thing is that we do come here with a soul contract, but we don't always know what that contract is. But we also have contracts that we've made with other people, that we have agreed to be certain things within this lifetime, so they can touch their touchstones.
Yes.
So for an example, you could have a bum that lives down the road, never works, smelly as anything, everybody gives him a wide berth. Okay, he might be a really highly developed soul who didn't need to come here. Maybe he came here to be in the right place at the right time to save someone's life who went on to do something better. You can never look at someone and know the reason they're here, or also know the reason why you're connected to them. So that's another reason why staying in the now is very good, because as you grow spiritually, as you understand yourself, it's like taking the blinkers off of life. My books will help you do that. It's like taking the blinkers off of life and really seeing people, really seeing life, really seeing what's playing out and what's coming up. And it's like having the answers before the questions even occur. So no one, or very few people, can pull the wool over your eyes, because you see them coming a mile away.
You do. You do. Absolutely. Yes, I think life teaches us that as we go along there. And I think this power of now, I like this power of now a great deal. I think sometimes we look at like I say to some people here, say, okay, tell me about your past. Oh God, it's horrendous. Okay. And tell me about where where it's situated. Okay. It's here. Okay. It's here. And where's your future? The future's here. And where's your now? Well, that's here too. So basically what you're telling me here is everything is now. And they go, yeah. And I say, do you find this confusing? And they go, yeah. So how about if we made now really important, the future's somewhere in a direction you want to go and choose, and the past is, well, it's happened. So what about now? How would it be to make now a beautiful place?
Right.
Why place?
Every moment that you've ever lived, every single moment you've ever lived has been a now moment.
Yes.
Okay. Every moment has been now. Every moment. Except that how we different. You see, time doesn't exist. It's only there for us so that we can segregate, so we can use this space, and so we don't all crash into everything. And we also operate on a time delay system as well. We'll talk about that another time. But if every part of your life was a now moment, that means in every now moment, you've always had two options, a positive or a negative, a right or a left, a go or a stop or a do or a don't, a choice or a not, a stand or a stay. It's always been a now moment. So the past is now moments used up in a way that we never really accessed it because we didn't understand it. We were living our story, believing our story based on where we were, what we were told to do, how we believed life should look, what we thought
Yes.
we were allowed to do. And really, we haven't had any creativity over our own life because we've been, even at 5 years old, well, 5 years old, you're supposed to be doing this. If you're not doing that, then you're backwards. You need to be doing this. So the whole of our life has been mapped out. We never stood still and realized that this was just a chapter, and then we can get to choose and decide how we live it, how we want it to look, what we want it to be like. So the past is just now moments used up. If you're always in the now, you're only in the now. And every day I give my day to God. When I wake up, I do pay it forward just in case I forget. And I said, God's my bestie. And I say, look, God, help me out here. Just in case I should forget, every day I give to you. Please guide me, help me, give me what I need. Please, I'm here working for you with me. I can't do it without you, so you may as well be with me. But I don't want to be in front of you. I want to be following you. So I need you in front of me, showing me what's best for me, showing me what opportunities I have. I don't want to be chasing it, looking for it. I expect you to stand with me or in front of me to help me, show me, guide me. So if you're giving every day to God, that means every moment you're only doing what's necessary in that moment. But your eyes are open, your ears are open, you hear things, you see things, you speak to people. During all of that, your thoughts also come. So when you see something that's out of place, you plug in upstairs, say, right, God, this is going on over there. Can you please go and sort it out? They need some help over there. Thank you. Okay, God, this is happening. Can you please go over in that direction? Sort them out over there. God, we're heading over this, but it's not working. It's not working. There's a load of trouble coming. It's not working. There's an argument here. I can't see it happening. Please. So I don't break this. Take it away from me now. Breathe, breathe. Come back to balance. Okay, God, so close me down so any ripples I send out are minimal. But again, I pass the whole thing to you, not just for me, but for everybody. You take it, you look after them, give them what they need, give them healing, give them help. I'm not going to add any more to it because my mind is powerful. If I am seeing the fear, if I'm seeing the problem, I'm also part of the problem because I'm making it stronger. I don't want to be responsible for that. Please take it away from me. Close me down. I pass it to you. You sort them out. So what you're doing is you're giving God, the universe, your angel, power to go and talk to their angel to help them to clear, to help this sort itself out so this sorts itself out. So being in the now is much more than anybody has ever taught me or anybody has ever said. And I think we are going deeper than a lot of people have ever taught us. And this was channeled to me by upstairs. And this is the information that's in the books. The future, you can have goals. But how can you have a goal if you don't know where you're heading?
Yeah.
How can you have a goal if your life is in...
Oh, we're just frozen for a minute.
Can you
Oh, sorry, back.
possibly have a goal?
Yes.
How can you possibly have a goal? So you have to stay in the now. And all of a sudden things pop up. Then life starts to give you opportunities, choices, things that you didn't know. Any difficulties to say yes or no. And then you move forward and it happens around you. Of course, you've got to interplay, but life and other people also do that too.
Fantastic. What a lovely talk. What absolutely lovely. And I love listening to you. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very nice indeed. Okay, let's just go back and just look at some questions that come through here. Debbie Harris says, yes, I try to be the best I can be. I forgive myself and my family who I do not see anymore. Okay, and sometimes that's a choice you make. I mean, if that makes you make everything better for your life, then sometimes that's a choice we do.
Okay, now let me just answer that.
Yep, just come back to that.
If you forgive yourself, forgiveness is part of the old world view. To forgive, you've also got to judge.
Okay.
And we're not supposed to judge, not even ourselves, because in every situation, there's always a winner or a loser. And nobody wants to be labeled the person responsible or the weak one.
Okay.
So if you replace that word forgiveness with understanding, then you will never, ever, ever need to forgive anyone again, because you understand yourself, understand others around you. But even though you don't talk to your family, understanding comes in and say, listen, God, I understand that I birthed them and our lives have gone different ways, and I understand where things are. But now, as I'm growing, I pass them to you. I ask for your attachment to come in good and strong, to take them forward in the way that's right for them individually in their life, for their soul. I pass them to you so I don't have to carry that responsibility. If ever I'm going to meet them in the future, let it be balanced, let it be calm, let it be washed away so we can just be. Because again, there's nothing worse than meeting someone when you're trying to be nice, but inside your feelings are going, oh yeah, but you did this and this and this, and everybody's awkward. It's like you're on eggshells. So if you pass it all up to God before the event, as many times as they pop into your head, when you do meet them, you'll just be balanced. And when they say sorry, or you say sorry, or even if nothing is said, it really won't matter, because you're connected to God. You need nothing from no one, not from anyone. You just need your soul to be connected to the universe. You need to know that you are on your journey, you're doing your best, that you need to know your purpose, that you're working with God, and send the rest back out as healing, as love, as understanding, so it can be corrected. Because maybe your job is not to carry it through. Maybe your job was not meant to be hurt by everything that happened. Maybe your job was just to reach this point of understanding, because you know them better than anyone else in the world could possibly know them. So your job is to pass them up to God and let it go. You don't need to forgive. You don't need to do anything. Just understand and pass it back out to God, because only when we step aside can life and God come in.
Very interesting. What a lovely point of view. Lovely point. So, Debs, I hope that helped you there. Hope you enjoyed that. Sandra Park says everything's as it should be. We've also got Alex joins us from Stoke-on-Trent. Very good evening to you.
Can I just say that even with everything as it should be, even that needs a little help. Yeah. So still talk to God.
Okay, still talk to God. Yes, I
agree. Completely right. It is as it should be, but it's as it should be up to this point. So it always needs intervention, always.
Okay. Eleni says, love that. Very interesting. We'll do this from now on. Fabulous, Eleni. Brilliant. There you go. We've got 4 thumbs up now. There you go. 2 and 4. There you go. And right, so we got Cheryl says, very interesting, Stephanie. Sandra Park says, I totally relate. And Eleni says here, could we have your details and books you have written? So there's Stephanie J. King. If you just type in Stephanie J. King's name, and you put that into Google, that will automatically go to a website, and also you'll see your books. I think that's about right, isn't it, Eleni? Sorry, is that Stephanie? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. You can call me Ellen. I don't mind.
Eleni, Stephanie, Stephanie, Ellen.
Usually stop it.
I have reached understanding. It's all right. It's Stephanie.
StephanieJKing.com.
Sorry, just say that again.
www.stephaniejking.com.
There you go.
You can see it on Amazon, all sorts of things. Yeah, brilliant.
Lovely. Okay, and Cheryl says, how do we best open up to these angels, or to the universe, or to God? How's best to do this?
Just close your eyes and go within. Now, the thing is, here's the thing. The whole of your life, okay, we're channeling again. The whole of your life, there's been a dialogue going on inside you, the whole of your life. Who have you been speaking to? Where has that dialogue been going?
Yeah.
You've naturally been giving directions out to life 24/7, the whole of your life. And that's also why it's important to bring yourself back into focus. Because if you think about the confusion of the thoughts that you're churning out all the time, how often you second guess yourself after you've had a conversation or an encounter, think, I wish I said this, I should have done that, oh, I need to do this. Your mind is all over the place. So which out of those thoughts is the real you? The one that wakes up in the morning, or the one that's in a good mood, or the one that nearly has a crash on the way to work, or the one who picks up somebody's headache and bad temper when they're at work, or the one who's stressed, or the one who's balanced, or the one who's cuddling your children, or the one who's cooking and then got pressures going on over there? Which is the real you? The thing is, all of them, but none of them. You have to come back to balance where you are understanding and recognizing completely your thoughts moment to moment to moment. It's a retraining of yourself because your mind has been allowed to run wherever it wants to and you followed it. But the mind is like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 6-year-old. It will keep on going doing what it wants to because you've allowed it until you go pull it back. But if you had a 2-year-old running crazy, you wouldn't follow it. You'd say, come back here, you. Come and sit down. This is where you need to be. And you need to do that with your thoughts, because when you start to realize that your thoughts are live instructions out to life, then you begin to take a little bit more care of what you're generating. You also have to be aware that sometimes you pick things up from people around you. So you might be in an okay place and maybe someone isn't, a loved one, say, and all of a sudden you get these feelings of repression and panic or sadness and grief or all sorts of things, and you start to feel down and you really don't know why. It could even be someone around you that you're picking up. So again, when you are aware of that, close your eyes immediately, say, listen, God, please take this away from me. If it's mine, then please take it away, but give it back to me in a way I can understand and deal with a little bit at a time. If it's someone else's, then please take it away. But wherever, whomever, can you please send healing to the root cause right now? Come back to now. So to talk to God, talk to your angels, close your eyes and talk. They can hear you. It's as loud as a tannoy. The only thing you perhaps have to do is, when you're talking to God, it's a sacred link. No one else can hear it, not even your angel. It's a sacred link. It's you and God, full stop. Now, your angel was assigned to you before your birth. You have nothing to hide. All your everything they have this, and at a time that's so that you can't say, okay, God, please help me out here. Can you please patch my angel in on this link so my angel can hear? Because then when you need help, it's more likely to come in easier because your own angel is closer to your physical self. God is still part of you, but God has hundreds, millions of eyes, millions of messages. God uses every medium, that poster, that bus side, that conversation, that thought, that TV thing. God has to bring things together to show you what you need, but your angel is there all the time. So you can ask for your angel to be patched in and then forget about it, let go, just be yourself, and then you've got a whole team working with you 24/7.
That's lovely. So Sandra Park says, "Oh yes, bring it on." So true, so true. That's lovely. She says, "Stephanie, that was brilliant." And Eleni also says here, "Phil, can you bring Stephanie back on the show again? We'd love to. We'll bring her if you'd like to come back on again. We can do that in February next year. Love to. Good." Yep. And yes, as Ellie asks, bring her back on. So that's lovely show. Love to bring her on here. Now, if any of you can't watch all of the show, don't worry. It's in the dusty archives of Cafe Clairvoyance. Or you go onto YouTube, Cafe Clairvoyance, and you'll see the recording there. It will pop up probably about 15 minutes after the show. Yes, so true, Stephanie. That's the way I work in my mind. So I'm not on my own. That's lovely. That's beautiful. There's yes, because I agree with you. We're not on our own.
I just want to say though that we do have private time, Okay, we do have private time. So supposing you wanted some intimate time with your partner, then again, program it forward. Say, listen, God, this Friday, me and my other half, we're going to sit down or we're going to go out and have a meal. Please, I give myself to you. Look after them as well. When Friday evening comes, look after us both. Help us both be on the same level and help us just communicate and be like two people together in love or just together should be. We pass it to you. Any energy that's generated, we pass to you, we give it to you, and we ask you to harness whatever you need to and just let it go. No, absolutely, you do have your private time. And yet 24/7, we've got people around us, but you do have your private time.
Now, wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Yes, it's nice to have private time, times you can connect, and times where you need to just send it out there. And that lovely connection. What a beautiful show. A friend of yours, very good friend, actually a friend of ours, says, Mandy. Mandy says, hello, my darling. Sorry to be late. Hello, Stephanie Hahn. You're looking good. Yes. She never says that
Thank
to
you,
me.
darling.
Mandy never says that to me. You looking good.
She's so lovely.
She
She's
is
just such a pure soul.
Yes.
A pure soul.
Very, very nice lady. And yes, we've shared many good times together, haven't we, Mandy? So it's lovely to join the show. Okay, guys, we're coming up to, it's almost 10 to the hour, and let's do, oops, I just brought that up the wrong end there. Let's do a little bit of this. Okay, so it's now coming up to 2051 down here in Spain. It's 1951, you guys in the UK. And if you guys are coming from other parts of the world, then whatever time 51 is for you. It's got about 9 minutes left on the show here. Guys, have you guys out there, have you got any questions you'd like to ask Stephanie? Is there anything there you'd like to ask, find out? Just got from Emily. She says, fantastic show, Phil, for bringing Stephanie on the show. That's wonderful. And great. That's lovely. Fabulous to have you on here. Now, I had some questions here earlier. Okay, right. What's your future plans there, Stephanie, apart from coming on the show? Again.
Well, my books have helped tens of thousands of people. There's something that you can use for the rest of your days. But my plan is to reach further and further, because the thing is that I'm not going to last forever. And we upstairs and myself have worked very hard to get to this point. So we're growing out further and further afield with the material so that we can connect as many people as possible during this lifetime back to the God mind. So we begin to understand God is our friend, God is everything, God doesn't judge us, God needs our interaction to bring heaven on earth. The thing is that, as I said earlier, you can live a whole lifetime and not touch the reasons you came here. By the time you get back to heaven, it's too late. You can't do anymore because your book is closed. So you've got two choices. You either stay with what you've gained per se, or you rebirth. Okay. Every time we rebirth, we take another place that somebody else, another soul more enlightened could have taken.
Yeah.
And when you're in heaven, you see the state of the earth. You remember your soul agenda. You see the things you could have changed, didn't change, or did manage to do. So it's terribly sad when we get back home and we didn't do what we managed. But more importantly, the whole purpose is to bring heaven on earth. We can't do it ourselves. So we've tried all these years, and this is as far as we've got. And it's a very fine line between being scared that things are getting blacker and saying, no, I'm living my life now. I can't change what's going on. I can only control this bit that I'm in to the best that I am. I can work with God to make a difference on all the other quarters, but this is where my attention is, to know that it will pass and then we'll move forward. So my job is to help people with mental health, people who have had their family who feel at a lost edge, people who have everything, men who feel like a purse or a wallet, people who feel their lives have passed them by, people who are stuck in addictions. My job is to help everyone come back to where they should be, because nobody is meant to be stuck where they are. Every person, no matter what they're going through, can come through this and begin to help others, because the whole idea is they went through it to get the lessons to come out the other side, to get the t-shirt and help other people. So, there are people out there that have been working with spirit, doing readings and all sorts forever, but they're on the old vibration. There's a new vibration coming in, and that's true by the language I've been using tonight. There's a whole new vibration coming in. God is actually modern, not old-fashioned. And everything that we do here will bear fruit. And we all came here for a reason, and I will help people tap into that reason, even if it's only just to put their ghosts aside and get happy, even if...
Oh, we're just gonna halt for a second. Hopefully this will come back.
reason.
Oh, there we come. Good.
That's it. We're back again.
Yes, we're back.
That's what I'm here for, to help others.
Okay, absolutely. Now, this is very interesting. You're talking about this new energy, and a lot of people are now talking this about the fifth dimension. Stepping into, we've come from the fourth dimension, going to the fifth dimension. Do you feel that's what it is with your belief system there?
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't label it because I wouldn't know what to call it. I just know it's an energy, a consciousness that's coming in. We are all evolving. We're stepping up. And those of us that are awake and enlightened will do it easily. Those who refuse to, or who aren't meant to, will feel every bump. But I tell you what's actually happening. We are ascending, but the lower levels of heaven are descending. In this lifetime, when we have our awakening, we're actually working on the level that we would have worked on had we have popped our clogs. But the difference is we're still here, so we can make those changes here now before we go home, because it's only here on this physical level that those changes can be locked in and made permanent. Otherwise, what will happen is our species will pass off again, and they'll have to wait for another generation to come, like the Aztecs and the Incas, like Atlantis, like even the ancient Egyptians. What happened to them? They all went away and we had to start again. And we know they were here because history is showing us, hieroglyphics, science is showing us. We are really at a knife edge now, and life can go either way, but it's up to us, each one of us individually, to get rid of the darkness. It takes one tiny candle flame to light up a room so we can see where we're going. One flame.
That's beautiful. Mandy says that's so very, very true. Thank you very much, Mandy. Now, this is interesting here. I really get that. And I think that spirituality is growing now. Spirituality, or connection with a higher consciousness, God, angels, divine. And I think it's interesting to say that heaven is descending and we're ascending to bring us onto that level of understanding and consciousness. I think it's a huge, huge thing. And for some people, we can see people are struggling with it and they keep hitting walls because they're struggling with it. And other people are actually changing into this. And do you think there's... because people are saying this is more of the feminine time we're coming into, where we're getting more in touch with their feminine side. Would that be something that you would relate to there? And
well, here's the thing. We're in danger here of trampling on the masculine, okay? The masculine has brought us to where we are now, okay? Good and bad, it's brought us to where we are now. Look at Iraq, that's a really good example. Bad stuff was happening, so they decided to topple Saddam Hussein. They believed all sorts of things they believed because of conspiracies. When they got there, they found him hiding in a hole. So they toppled him. He wasn't a good man, okay? He wasn't, but behind him was even worse. So what they did was they toppled the establishment, and then when the ground was leveled, they had to start all over again. We are moving into the time, I'd rather say, of the hybrid. Where we're making something more out of what we have. We don't have to topple it to the ground. It's the hybrid coming in, and we're taking it to the next level. And that's why they say it's the time of the feminine, because it's a place of rebirth, and women are good at making something from nothing. You know, in most things, they're very creative, and we're in a time of creativity. It's a softer time, but I want to fly the flag for the men to say, please, well, really, you know, it's up to the men to, and some of the women that are more masculine, to wake up to understand. But that's where my new book, Grave Doubts, comes in.
Okay.
Read Grave Doubts. You can get it on your Kindle. It will make you cry right from the first page.
I'm not reading
Grave
it.
Doubts. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's
Definitely.
got messages in. It's a very powerful book. Don't topple the male, okay?
No.
Pull the male up. Give them the gratitude where it's due. Do you know what? There's a lot of women today that are worse to the men than the men are allowed to be to the women.
Oh, very true. Very, very true. Oh, yes. 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 Absolutely.
Flags for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Stephanie, it's been absolutely, we've come to the end of the show. It's been absolutely fabulous having you on, and really enjoyed it. And everybody's comments here are so flattering to you, and they're so pleased you've been on. So I think it'd be rude not to invite you onto the show again next year. And
Well, it's gone too fast, Phil. It's gone too fast.
I know. It was interesting, wasn't it? Because we were talking a few months ago, and all of a sudden it's here. The date's here. We've been live on the show, and the hours just like zipped by. It's
maybe next time we need to have 2 hours.
we could do. We could do. Why not? Why not? Okay, guys. Thank you very much for listening in. This has been my very, very warm special guest, Stephanie J. King. Absolutely fabulous lady. More about, you can find out about all her works there on her website, www.stephaniejking.com, and all her books are on Amazon. You can get them on Kindle, and I'm sure you guys out there would you'll be on there straight away as we close the show. But yes, thank you very much for your comments here. Cheryl says, great show, very interesting. Thank you, wonderful show, says Sandra, and thank you, amazing show, says Susanna. And Stephanie, thank you very much indeed, and a big heart to you. Big heart.
Thank you.
And that, and a burger, a heart and a burger. They're the same symbol. Same symbol. It's just a veggie burger, but it's very nice. It's very. Sandra Park says yes, 2 hours. Oh, we'll have to see what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, there we go. Yes, Emily says I'm on Amazon now. Fabulous, fabulous. Stephanie, thank you so much. Come on, it's been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be in touch very, very soon to get you on for another 2 hours, as I'm sure.
Thank you.
Wonderful communicator you are, and what a lovely show. And I just say a big warm thank you to you, and please send our love to everybody up there in your area of the woods, your neck of the woods, and just say a big thank you from us. So, Emily, we'll see you very, very soon, and you take care. Big love. Big love.
Big love.